All right, happy Friday, everyone. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right. Gold, where are we? So we had this model here, which we were setting up from the last couple of days, which price actually mitigated this quite nicely, like really, really nicely. It does look like we missed an entry here. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember, because it was this local model which never gave us an entry. That's fine. I'm more than okay with that. Ran through supply. Question is, are we still bullish on the hourly? Yes, we still are. So yeah, this pair's still pretty bullish. This was the Model 1. Terrible drawing there. My apologies. Which technically speaking goes into a Model 2. Like that. I have a feeling if there was any further demand in here, it's been mitigated. Yes. Yeah, nothing else really is... Like, all entries that were ever present here have been missed. And or just weren't good enough. Although, what I will point out is there is a nice return to zone. Up until, from the range starting point till this point right here. Really, really clean. So if we can come lower, but it's more so like there's just nothing to grab. We are still bearish on the 2 hour. Yeah, I'm just trying to say, well, what else price could grab in here? And there doesn't seem to be a lot. There really doesn't. Like, this has all been taken. Yeah, not a lot. The only thing that will interest me is a very local scalp here. That is pretty much it. That is pretty much the only thing that will give me any sort of interest. It's not even a confirmed range yet, so you just have to be careful from that remark or that regard. And just, yeah, be patient, see what happens. We've got our alert set. Perfect. Yeah, and that is kind of it for gold at the moment. We'll have a look at silver. Silver's not doing a whole lot. This is somewhat of a distribution range, but you can see there's a lot of demand here being left behind, so it's not a clean range to take. Other than that, there's nothing really of interest to me in silver. Yeah. It's the same thing, it's just a matter of bouncing off supply and demand levels. Now this has been changed. Perfect. That's the color I want. Alerts are set. And that is it for silver. Oil has really, really nicely mitigated this supply. And now I believe there's not a whole lot going on here. Yeah, we are still bearish. Still very much so bearish on the hourly and on everything else except for the weekly. There isn't really, actually there might be. I stand corrected. I think there will be a POI we can draw from, which is right here, I believe. Yep, we can use this as a fairly big structure supply POI. And then we might have some overlapping structure as well. We have an OBIF here, which is very much so valid. So we will see if we get a reaction from this. And that is kind of it for Forex, for commodities, sorry. Nothing else that is of interest, so I'm gonna go to USD CHF. Give me a second, I will be right back. All right, just had to quickly crack open an oxy shred because I will be heading to the gym after this. USD CHF has left some okay looking supply here. We've obviously mitigated all this a long time ago. Are we still bullish on the hourly? I don't, oh. So we broke into bearish. We are still bullish because we've just been SFPing all this, so yeah. Still bullish on the hourly for now. And that means I would assume we're still bullish on the 4 hourly, correct? So yeah, no structure has been broken here. But then there's also no clean range that I am interested in whatsoever here. So we will move on. Now Euro and ZD. So we have mitigated. How far did I drag this demand? We have mitigated demand. My only question is how clean is this range? Look, it's not the best, it's not the worst. I'm gonna really want... this has been mitigated already, okay. That's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Supply has been mitigated. Technically speaking, I have to use this as extreme liquidity. Like we have some really, really nice lows here. So if I'm to go by the book, I'm going to have to use this as extreme liquidity. So I will see if we manage to come back into this and grab it, which will most likely mean that I'm only going to take an entry on here if it is a model one, because very slim chance that we're going to come this low and take this low, but then we're not going to take our tap 2 here. So it's either all in or nothing here. It's either going to be a model 1 or no entry. So I'm gonna want something like this to happen. Grab that and then push up, and then that's your model 1. But so far, do we have some somewhat? It's not really valid supply this, just because there's no 2 consecutive candles going down bearishly. Yeah, like there's no real supply here. Let's see what the context is saying. Are we still bearish on the hourly? We might not be. Okay, we are. We're still bearish on the hourly. But yeah, you can see here we've left a really, really nice sell side liquidity curve. So I definitely expect these to get taken. Yeah, I just need this range to... I need to give this range a bit more time. In the lower time frame context, it's fine. But then we're obviously looking at an accumulation here, which is in the higher time frame context, it's fine because we're looking for an accumulation. But in the lower time frame, 1 to 4 hour, it is bearish. So it's like, especially to leave like your bearish low time frame, you're also leaving this sell side liquidity below. Like, I can very much expect us to just fake move up, and then just continue to flush down. But we'll see what happens at the end of the day. There's no point speculating. Our alerts are set. If in fact there's one more alert I want to set, and that is is this supply valid? Yeah, just. We also have overlapping market structure which I will use this overlapping market structure. Awesome. Sweet, Euro USD. Talk to me. I'm already seeing a potential accumulation model here. Are we still bullish on the hourly? That is my question. We've broken structure here. We're still bullish on the hourly, guys. So this could be a really, really nice model. Like really nice. Let's have a look at our POIs. So we have demand there. This is actually a fairly clean model. If we have Asia session highs here as well, not taken, even better. Okay, not taken, not bad. Asia high is right here. Look, it's pretty straightforward. Mitigation, break of structure, entry. You have some liquidity here below. I'm not putting that much importance on it. If I can get a nice break upon this mitigation, then I will be entering. And you do kind of have a rainbow liquidity above, which we've mentioned before, when all session highs stack up one on top of the other but aren't taken out. Which is quite nice, like really nice, because you can see here London's taken. The London lows have been taken, these New York lows have been taken, but New York highs not taken, Asia highs not taken, London highs not, London highs not taken, even these Asia highs. Maybe these Asia highs borderline taken, yes, but then New York highs not taken, so this could be in our favor, but we just have to monitor. And also, of course, contextually speaking, we have broken structure on the hourly. Boom. Very, very nice. We are obviously bearish on the higher time frame, but the local looks really good. And that hourly breaker structure looks beautiful, so yeah. All right. Alerts are set. Let's move on. range here. Nice equal lows at the bottom. I have added an alert there as well. Okay, I think we are bullish on the hourly. Yeah. And then probably on the 2 hourly as well. Yeah, 4 hourly is 4 hour bullish. Is weekly bullish. Yeah, that's our weekly low. Yeah, weekly is bullish. That is our weekly low. Daily. Daily's bullish, yeah. We're bullish across the board here. Yeah. That can go. I don't need that anymore. Yeah, so it's a quite a against context short here. But it could be the start of a pivot point, so that's something I've kind of learned over time. Yes, the market can be fully or a setup could be fully against context, but if it's in a high potential POI area, like where there's a lot of supply like there is here, then this could be at least a short-term reversal point. So as much as it is against the context, you are trending up. Supply is there to push price back down. And same thing vice versa with demand. So it's just something to be aware of. Yeah, if the setup's clean, I might just take it, but time will tell. I'll start moving some of these up. Right, Euro USD can come up, USD CAD can come up. Euro NZD we've looked at, that can stay where it is. GBP JPY, nothing interests me here. No, we're just in this awkward ranging environment. I will put a focus on this range, like so. Awesome. USD JPY. This remains. I'm going to put an emphasis on this range. Not much more to be done here. Keep it simple. NZD CAD. This has now invalidated itself. Are we bearish? I'm seeing us being bullish now. Yeah, we are bullish on the 1 hour. And we are officially bullish on the 4 hour as well. Have a look at that. Is that not copy? Are we still bullish on the daily though? That's my question. Yep. Yeah, so this is actually quite fine. Obviously weekly is bearish, that's fine. Little 2-day breaker structure there, that stays. Yeah, you're still in a bullish environment, so I would just be careful with looking at shorts. And then you've got accumulation here, accumulation here. You've got supply there. There's no return to zone whatsoever, so. Oh, was there a local distribution there? I'll tell you what, there could have been. Yeah, very, very local distribution here. Not the cleanest, but something there. And then we do have demand right here, which is something to be aware of, which we're in as we speak. Look, if we still continue to come up into this supply with a nice return to zone, then maybe, just maybe, I'd be willing to take a local scalp short, but we'll see. Yeah, that remains the same. This NZD CAD, or AED CAD, sorry, model is no longer of interest to me. We have left heaps of demand below. Contextually, we are bullish on the hourly. Are we bullish on the 4 hour? I think we might be. We might just be. No. No, we remain bearish on the 4 hourly, but we are bullish on the hourly. Yeah, there's just so much demand below. Which, now that I look at this a bit better, it's kind of, majority of it has been mitigated. 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 All right, so we have this demand here. Which I will definitely need mitigated if we are to. Same thing, like, it's just against context. Everything's bullish. Oh, 4 hours bearish. Yeah. So it will be crucial for a demand mitigation here for us to even like consider this a potential. In terms of liquidity, you've got both supply and extreme liquidity here, so these are our POIs. And that's it. Are we? Yeah, yes So we looked at this. Okay, everything remains the same. Plan of attack is just this, which I don't think will happen. If it's so pro context, you're going to need a return to zone coming into this extreme liquidity and supply POI. So we'll see what happens there. AUD USD ran through supply. Drawing structure. We are officially bullish now. Bearish. Still bearish, still bearish, still bearish. Still bearish. That remains the same. Market structure high, low market structure high up here. 4 hour is bearish. Daily is bearish. Weekly is bearish. Weekly is bullish. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, weekly bullish, weekly bearish. Where did I see the structure? It is to note we are leaving decent buy side liquidity, which we might get a little sweep. So for here, nothing really changes. We've got our alert when price hits this demand, and that's it. Nothing more needs to be done here. GBP USD. We have front ran this extreme. Are we bullish? I don't think so. Bullish. Yep, we are bullish. Perfect reaction from demand. And then this has now become an extreme liquidity POI for me. We have also just mitigated this demand. There could be a very, very low time frame scalp here. Low time frame scalp opportunity. Which is right here. So if we can come into this POI with a nice return to zone, that is all I need. And we've also we've only recently transitioned to bullish on the hourly. We are very much still bearish on the 4 hour. I will visit that in a minute. But yeah, this could be a local accumulation into this liquidity. My actual POI is going to be right here. And then we also have a slightly more refined area, or a much more refined area right here. So we will see what happens. Yeah, and we will remain patient. Yeah, so far these highs are actually adding up quite nicely. So if we can continue to do something like that, and then a convincing break, that alone will give you like a nice three risk to reward. So pretty decent opportunity here. Just got to be patient and alert. Alerts have been set. Let's see what gold said. Okay, this is now invalid. Yeah, we'll monitor this, but I feel like the entry would have been in here. GBP USD can now get moved to the top. Why not? GBP NZD. Maybe we get an extended model here. Definitely do not rule it out. That's my POI right there. If I get a nice mitigation of this demand with a good return to zone, 4 hours still looks bullish to me. Very much so. So yeah, we will leave that as is. AUD Not a whole lot is happening here. We're still bearish on the hourly. Are we bullish on the daily? Just we've continued to SFP this daily low. So yeah, as of now, we'll see what happens. Does this look better? Maybe a little bit. This GBP accumulation model still looks really, really clean, like really clean. My question is, have we broken structure on the bullish in the meantime? Oh, have you broken 1 hour structure to bearish in the meantime? Let's draw our structure. Easiest way to do it. We are now bearish. We are now bullish. Yeah, still bullish. So far, so good. Optimal scenario is we get some sort of distribution up here somewhere, which we can then short into this demand to create the tap 3 of, you know, this high time frame accumulation. That is optimal scenario, but obviously you only ever look for confirmations and not expectations. Yeah, not much to do here. I'll leave that as is. I'm seeing so far a messy looking potential distribution. We do have demand here, which has been mitigated. So yeah, a mitigation of this would be nice, would be ideal. Yeah, still bearish. And still bearish on the hourly as well. So this does align with our context, which is why we can look at this a little bit better. But we'll see what happens. You know, I'm not going to set an alert here. I'm only setting an alert for demand. I only care about this demand being mitigated on the slightly lower time frame. You know what, I'll set an alert just in case. And then I do want this to get mitigated as well, ideally, by like a clean wick. But it is not the be all end all. Both of these areas are just kind of like messy supply zones. Or like this is somewhat of a messy supply zone, so if it doesn't get mitigated, it's not the be all end all. At the end of the day, I'm still looking for a cleaner return to zone. And you can see right now we're kind of expanding, leaving demand behind us ourselves. So we'll see what happens there. Euro GBP. Bearish on the hourly. That looks correct to me. Bullish on the 4-hourly. I feel like I'll have to be the judge of that. Technically, we're kind of like wicking this bit. Yeah, technically speaking, we are just borderline bullish on the 4-hourly. It really depends how we respect this candle closure. And yeah, we do still have a 3-day OBIF, a 3-hour, sorry. Yeah, we still have a 3-hour OBIF there. And then even from a POI perspective, this is my extreme liquidity. But you can see we're leaving quite a bit of supply coming into this third tap POI. You have that 3-hour OBIF right below it, which is not, you'd much rather a Model 1 here. And then furthermore, I believe that from a timing perspective, this is no longer valid. Tap 1 to 2 is approximately 19 hours 30 minutes, we'll say, and then tap 2 to present. Yeah, so this is already invalid. Yeah, it is too extended for my liking. Nevertheless, we can look at this and see what happens. So yeah, that is it for Forex, guys, for today. Keep a close eye on Euro USD. Still on track. GBP USD has pumped quite aggressively. This might not be still on track as much as we thought. Like, it still can happen, but not as likely. And then yeah, USD CAD is just ranging. And then yeah, all these other pairs, just keep an eye out for them. Let's have a look at crypto. Don't think there's a lot going on here from memory. No, so Bitcoin's still just in this compressed environment. this is our main range on Bitcoin at the moment. There'll probably be something similar on USD T dominance. Not necessarily actually. We have this, but I don't think it's a distribution. No, we have triple highs here, which are definitely going to get taken and will probably flush down. At least in the short term, we'll see. We like ever so slightly broke our market structure there. And let's see what we had here. Doge is still doing its thing. Now these have been swept, so I wouldn't, and we've also got buy side liquidity forming just above, as you can see. You can see it a lot easier on the lower time frame, which is why I'm not going to be looking at this. I'm not looking at this for a distribution model. In fact, yeah, I'm kind of seeing this to go higher. We've also mitigated demand. So like for a higher time frame, it's beneficial because we are pre-planning for a higher time frame distribution. And we've also kind of left somewhat of a demand chain by the looks of it. Right here. Hasn't been mitigated yet. I will do a much more in-depth crypto update tomorrow morning because, as you guys know, in crypto, a lot of moves can happen on weekends when people aren't looking at the charts. It does seem to be a bit of a recurring thing here. Beautiful structure supply here. Beautiful. Awesome. That's XMR at the moment. Binance sticking to the plan, it sure is. Yeah, it's kind of all been mitigated. So it's not as clean as supply as I initially thought. ETH is also have this ugly compression here. It's just, yeah, compressing. BNB is leaving some form of demand. Quant is also leaving some form of demand. yeah, you could potentially expect higher short term here in the crypto markets. Sol. It's kind of just doing its thing. Litecoin still ranging. XRP not doing a lot. Pepe may, there's just demand there, which I spotted that from a mile away. Demand right there. So even Pepe. Not really liking it. Hype. Hype has officially made its first deviation of this crazy high time frame range, but we're going to need a much deeper pullback into all this demand, and then maybe a move back up, and then some form of local model in here, which we can then short all the way to like $20. So this will be a to all the hype maxis out there, prepare for the greatest short on this coin you have seen to date. Fart is not doing much. It is falling. Okay, I know exactly where pump is. Pump it louder. Pump it louder. Not a whole lot happening here. This could be a, this could be an okay scalp. It's inefficient. When you're looking at, where's USDT? USDT is also ranging though, but if it can come up and grab this liquidity, also going to go down, but if you can sweep the liquidity and then go lower, then obviously also going to pump. So it's kind of in a no man's land at the moment. But if we were to go solely off this range, where were we? Fun fact, equal highs in crypto are quite nice liquidity targets. So the fact that this has created equal highs, not a fan. I feel like these are going to get taken out. So I'm not going to lean on taking a trade here. That's just completely thrown me off it. And yeah, I feel like this hasn't been mitigated. Okay, it has. Yeah, not the cleanest. Not going to take it. Whiff, however, is looking all right. What is to the left? Okay, we're also in supply, which is good to know. And there is also supply here. This is a little bit further away. There's no real look, like extreme liquidity has already been taken, which you could say it was this. This will most likely become a model 1 by the looks of it. And then your market structure low, which would be 3. Do we have a 3 minute? A cheeky 3 minute low in there? No, we don't. This is our 1 minute market structure low. So we will see if we can get some sort of clean break. It's like borderline 11 hours. Don't like this demand here. Especially if it's backed by the volume area. Where is it? Yeah, like it's a volume inefficient range, but demand is backed by volume area low. Has been mitigated. You could kind of allow this as just non-demand, if you will, because it kind of has been mitigated. We just haven't deviated this this devious high, so we'll see what happens there. I'm actually going to monitor this for a bit. Okay, ton. Let's check out ton. This would just be a 0.5% risk. No need to go any where is my phone for entry? Okay, with stop loss is at 0.20245. And I'm going to wait on for a slight pullback of this supply right here, because it normally comes through. So we will be a little bit patient there, and then that might also bring us up a little close to a 3 risk to reward there. $0.20245. So currently on my exchange price is sitting around here. So even if I enter here, it will still give me a decent 2.67 risk to reward. But I just want to really confirm a clean mitigation here. Let's see what USDT dominance is doing. If we sweep this liquidity with USDT dominance, we've created these highs, man, just aren't what I want. I want us to grab all this and then dump. So demand has definitely been mitigated here. Ideally we sweep this, and then the second we sweep this and we show signs of, it's kind of contradicting though, because if USDT goes lower, then WIF is obviously going to go higher, unless we just sweep these highs and it just fuels us to keep going higher, and that's when WIF just dumps. The one thing I want to do first is just see if we how we react if we come up and mitigate some of this supply. Like, we are breaking through. We're sort of breaking through demand. Like, we've kind of front ran this. We're very close to. It all depends how we react from grabbing this liquidity. Is it going to shoot us up, and then that means we're gonna go quite lower in WIF, or is it just going to be a sweep liquidity and dump, which means that WIF is going to go higher. We have left, very important to note here, we have left supply. So what I'm going to do, it's already a two risk to reward. But like, look, 2 risk to reward is better than no risk to reward. I will enter with 0.1% if we can get a nice entry here. And then our stops will be 2.20234. $20234. Alright, not the best entry, but it is what it is. It has filled me in at 0.005, so it has filled me in. This is actually terrible. This is horrific. It has filled me in here. Yeah, like it is with spreads are going to be terrible. This is our return to zone. And let's set our, we'll set our take profit 0.19758. Bang, we have set our stop loss and our take profit. All that has been set here. And I'll set an alert where my TP is. Look, if we come up, continue doing this, mitigate supply, and then strong breaker structure, I may add a little bit more to my position because that will just bring my risk to reward. I'll make it a lot better than what it is now. It probably would have been a good idea to actually set a limit order just with the spreads, but it is what it is. But yeah, that is that. Where were we? Pump. We have mitigated supply. Tower is compressing here. like quite cleanly. Virtual has absolutely gone bananas. Nothing is of interest here. Render. I feel like if this was a good local, yeah, way too short. Way too short time frame. Supply has been created here, so I would not be looking to do anything there. We'll see what cake does. If we can come up higher. Not a whole lot happening here with Sui. Oh, with Aave, sorry, not Sui. Not a whole lot happening here with Sui. Like maybe you could use this as a distribution, but prices just moved. Price is kind of just far gone now. Like same thing. Let's look at our 14 hours 30 from tap 1 and 2 and tap 2 to present. You're pretty much approaching when this should have confirmed. So given that, no longer interested. Asta's a crazy pair, man. Asta is a crazy pair. Here is some supply. Take note of this. I can see Asta going lower. I can see something like this happening. Boom. This could be a model, to be honest, so we'll see what happens. We have set our alert. I will actually move this up. Link. It is forming a distribution, but there is demand here, which I do not like. No return to zone there. Bitcoin Cash, not doing a whole lot. Trump, that has been invalid. Brett, that is also invalid. So a lot's to take in today. Heaps. What's man, this entry was just like spreads just absolutely cooked me here. That's why it's so important. Either limit buy or just be a bit more patient when entering. Like spreads made this from a 2 point, we're thinking of a 3 at one point, but it went from like a high 2, 2.6, 2.7 RR to like a 1.59, which is where we entered. But it is what it is. Once you enter, just stick to the plan. Don't try like exit early unless there's a clear signs, like if we come back down and we sweep this extreme liquidity and convincingly break up, then that will be my sign to go risk off, because price has kind of done what it had to do. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to monitor to see if we get a mitigation of this supply, what's going to happen, and what can happen, and I'm going to be completely honest here, is we could do this, break through, create remember this has not deviated this, so this would be a tap 2, and then we could actually create a second zone, or range, I don't know why I called it zone, and then it could be a range like this. And we end up trading this range, so we have to take a loss here, because we're going to obviously get stopped out here if price does this, but then it's one of those things where you take a loss to then take a W here if that presents itself. So yeah, we're just gonna have to be patient and see what happens, but so far I'm really liking the liquidity that's forming here. Like this looks really nice, looks quite poised to dump. Yeah, that's it. Heaps to take in. Hopefully you all took some notes or had the charts up with me. I will see you all tomorrow for a crypto focused market update. We'll have a quick last check for in Forex. Yeah, these are still per plan. This has now been invalidated, so we are no longer interested in this. We can remove all these. We can remove this chart. But yeah, a lot to take in, guys. Thank you all for your time, for watching, for viewing, for listening. Subscribe if you've made it this far, and I will see you all on tomorrow's update. Peace.